This is Unleash Your Inner Legend, a podcast featuring modern-day legends sharing their life choices, habits, and routines that got them to where they are today. Get ready to be inspired and to take massive action to unleash your inner legend. Happy Monday, listeners. So for today's Monday Minutes, I just want to kind of touch on the topic of personal branding, because this is something, especially us entrepreneurs that are active in the social media world, in the digital age, you always hear it over and over again about, personal branding, ways to stick out, and things like this. So I'm going to break it down to you guys 101, just so we can kind of get clear on what personal branding is, or at least in my opinion, what it is, and then kind of talk through some tips and actionable items that you guys can do to kind of amp up your personal branding game. So first and foremost, what is a personal brand? So personal branding refers to an establishing and promoting yourself and what you stand for. Your personal brand is going to be a unique combination of your skills and experiences that make you, you. So an effective personal branding strategy will differentiate you from all the other professionals in your field. So this is exactly why every entrepreneur needs to build a personal brand online as well as offline. And the key to this is going to be differentiating yourself from your competition and building that personal brand. Because here's the deal, you guys. At the end of the day, people want to connect with people. We're starting to move from the shift of, corporate feel, corporate constraints, and more so of brand humanization. So the benefits for a personal brand, it's going to build trust and authority. It gets you noticed. It could even get you featured in media. You start doing podcast interviews. You start doing some public speaking, things like that. It's going to start building your network. It's going to start attracting more clients because they're going to recognize you as the go-to professional in your industry. And then most importantly, you guys, it's going to create a community of loyal followers. So stop focusing so much on numbers and really focusing on people and humans. And, there's just so many different ways we can kind of break down, the foundation of building a basic brand, the supporting pillars of it. And then overall, your game is going to be cultivating and nurturing your audience. But since this is Monday Minutes, I'm just going to give you guys a quick overview on some things that you guys can do to kind of amp it up. So first and foremost, audit yourself. Take some time to go through your social media profiles, Google your name. Maybe you have some old profiles you forgot even existed. Do some cleanup on the content that doesn't really fit the desired image that you're looking for. Not necessarily saying that you're fake or be fake. It's just, I'll give you guys my example. The Hollie that started a Facebook profile in 2007 was a senior in high school. I had not experienced life. I obviously was not very professional. So, maybe there's some things in there that not necessarily got to delete, but maybe you could just put it to your eyes only, or only me can see, that little padlock button on Facebook. But just kind of go through and do some cleanup. Go through and, if you have some friends or family members that like tagging you in kind of crazy stuff, go through and, do it to where you have to approve tags to be displayed on your timeline. Little snippets like that, it can kind of definitely amplify, your game that you got going on, because the last thing you want to do is be tagged in something crazy that's unprofessional and doesn't relate to you or your business that you're looking to, the personal brand that you're looking to do. So go through and ask yourself these questions now. Who are you? What makes you unique? What's your vision for your personal brand? What's the goal for personal branding? And you guys, there's no wrong answers on this. So for instance, your goal might be just a brand awareness. Maybe it's more clients. Maybe it's recruiting. Maybe it's public speaking. Whatever it is, just get clear on that goal so that you guys know exactly which route you need to do when it comes to posting content and creating content. Also ask yourself, what are your professional goals? Who is your audience? You guys know, go back to the avatar exercise, identify who you're going to be speaking to. And then ask yourself, how can you help them? And then what makes you different? Kind of find some things that speak out about your personality. So for me, things that can come straight to mind is going to be like, I'm quirky, I'm awkward, I'm weird. I tend to have a morbid sense of humor. I love going to rock and roll concerts. But then the flip side too, I like helping businesses and I like doing all these other things. So how can I, splice the two? So maybe for instance, I can talk about like how I got to interview some of my favorite rock stars, or I could talk about, going to concerts and, tips to do this or that, and the other, whatever it is, but find something that makes you you. Because at the end of the day, we have so many people, quote unquote, fighting for attention, although that's not the truth. But you have so many people out there online, kind of saying, oh, I'm unique. Oh, this, that, and the other. That's cute and all, but really, truly what makes you unique? Think about your story and kind of really build your audience through that. Be authentic, be you. Here's the deal. Not everyone's going to love what you post. Newsflash, I know this is so news to you guys, but seriously, be prepared for the people to either make rude comments or, disagree or unfriend, whatever they want to do. But then just, kind of think yourself like, okay, that's one less person I have to worry about, cancering up the group of apples or whatever the case may be. So start kind of thinking about that. Gather your achievements, gather any supporting materials, learn effective storytelling on everything that you guys post. How did you get those achievements? Obviously, you maybe got the world's best realtor award. That's cute and all, that's amazing. But let's talk about the story of how you even got into real estate. Let's talk about, you know what I mean? Like, what's the journey? And everything you guys need to be posting needs to be intentional and it needs to be authentic. It needs to be you. Let's see here. What else can we talk about? So, another thing too is kind of spending some time and, finding ways to add credibility to yourself. This can be great ways going through, blog post, graphic, audio, podcast, whatever it is. Start publishing those pieces in other platforms other than just Facebook. Maybe you need to take it and go to LinkedIn. Maybe you need to take it and post it to Pinterest. Identify your high performing posts, obviously that are professional, that you're wanting to extend out to your personal brand, and then find ways to reshape them. They can be on Instagram, IGTV, stories. You can take it to a podcast, create your own podcast and take it to iHeartRadio, have your own television show, whatever the case may be. The possibilities are limitless. You've just got to learn to be consistent and put the work in. So another great way to get credibility is to have third-party confirmation. This is great because you can do this easy by being like a guest on a podcast, by guest blogging. Maybe you're submitting articles to publications online or in print of your own content. Things like that, because what's going to happen is people are going to start noticing that like, whoa, like so-and-so interviewed you. That's interesting. What's so interesting about you that made you get there? Things like that. So people will start taking notice. You cannot focus on the number of likes. You cannot focus on the number of followers. You just got to focus on producing quality content, because here's what's going to happen. People are going to start catching on, and not everyone is a public liker. Not everyone's a public commenter. Maybe they just sit back and watch you quietly. And when the moment comes that they need your professional help, you're probably going to be the first person they think about because of your consistent, ongoing personal branding and professionalism. So let's see, what else can we do? Let's talk about networking and collaboration, because to me that's huge and one of my favorite ways to kind of expand your network. So find and identify people who are either influencers, they can be micro influencers, super influencers, whoever, and find people that you can be endorsed or mentioned in on social media. So again, if you have a podcast, a guest podcast, or if you have a guest like a Facebook Live series, find them to be on your show. More than likely, they're going to reshare that content and then tag you in it. It's just kind of getting in front of audiences that did not know who you are. And lastly, I want to leave you guys with some tips and some final thoughts. So have a focus on your personal branding. Know what you want your message to be and keep focused on it. I keep saying this all the time, but next, be authentic, you guys. Let your vibe attract your tribe. Tell your story. So a personal brand needs to be telling a story. And you might be asking why. Well, creating a story will allow your audience to see you for who you are and what you stand for. It allows them to connect with you on a genuine level. Letting your guard down and showing your audience that you're human is the best way to form a relationship. Next, you want to be consistent. Your personal brand has to have the same look and feel online as it does offline. Always add value, you guys. This is the easiest way to gain trust and credibility. Now, next I want to give you this tip is when you're going through with your content, think content equals solutions. When you're building out content, think about all the problems that your avatar or your ideal customer has, and then find the ways that you can help solve them or guide them through that journey or phase of their business. And lastly, I want to leave you guys with this little quote. Live your brand. So the quote is, your personal brand should follow you everywhere you go. It needs to be the authentic manifestation of who you are and amplify what you believe in. Hope you guys found this Monday Minutes helpful. If you have any questions regarding personal branding, feel free to reach out to me at Hollie Kitchens, and I'll be more than happy to help you through your journey next week on Monday Minutes. This is Unleash Your Inner Legend, a podcast featuring modern day legends sharing their life choices, habits, and routines that got them to where they are today. Get ready to be inspired and to take massive action to unleash your inner legend.